And some of the symptoms people are coming in reporting are pretty harmless. They can range from just a light cough to even just a mild fever. But if you have any of these symptoms and you vape regularly, it's best you tell your doctor. Jack, racial slurs were written on the walls of both the 4th and 6th floors of Day Hall right here on Mount Olympus. On the 6th floor, it was in the bathroom, multiple writings of the N-word on both a broken ceiling light and on a tossed garbage can. And then down on the 4th floor, big on the bulletin board, a slur directed at Asians was written on there. Now, the last few weeks have been kind to Central New York natives, but very soon, it'll be time to get undercover. The case ties back to Collins holding a position on the board of an Australian drug company, Innate Immunotherapeutics. When the former congressman learned that an important drug trial had failed, he phoned his son from the White House lawn, literally from the White House lawn, and told him to sell off his shares. If you wanted to visit the Liverpool Public Library today, you would have been met with this. Don't try tomorrow either. Renovations are shutting people out all week. Now, even though the library itself is closed, the people who work there are still helping out the community. But instead of them doing it by stocking bookshelves, they're packing boxes with fruits, veggies, the whole 9 yards. Librarian Deanna McGregor says volunteer days like this are common and typically draw very well.
And we come once a quarter, and some of our patrons come regularly with the library, but some of them actually come on their own as well now that they've made the connection here with the food bank.
The success here highlights exactly what McGregor hopes for.
It's a goal of our library to connect with the community, but also to connect community members with each other and organizations in the community. So we're so happy that we've built this relationship.
But it's not all work boxing fruit. With all the community events, it begs the question, does a librarian's job really ever stop? McGregor has an easy answer.
We're on the go all the time.
And they even have a van to prove it. Brandon Ross, NCC News. Sabrina, the first Democratic candidate, entered the presidential race back in July of 2017, and tonight we have finally made it to primary season 2020. Every candidate has made their blitz over weekend, especially those senators in the impeachment trial, making that final pitch and at least get on the voters' minds, because you don't have to finish first in Iowa for a couple of reasons. One, this is not a primary state. This is a caucus state. This is not a direct vote. What happens is everyone gathers in their polling place at 7 p.m. Central, either their local high school or their elementary school or library. They get split off into their groups of what candidates they support. At the outset, there will be a segment for undecided voters. Then what happens is there's 30 minutes of conversations between the people there trying to convince other people to join their side. After those 30 minutes, they reorganize, and then a viability threshold is enforced. If any candidate doesn't reach 15% of precinct goers, then they are eliminated, and there's another 30 minutes on the clock for those who have met the threshold to convince others to join their camp. Once that 30 minutes is up, they split up. Those numbers get reported to the state Democratic caucus. And then the second reason it's important is Iowa is not a winner-take-all state. What happens is at the end, all the results get reported, and it can be a split vote. You can finish in second or third and still get delegates. We saw this back in 2016, where Hillary Clinton won the Iowa caucus, but oh so slightly, to the point where she got 23 delegates, and Bernie Sanders, who finished a very close second, got just 21.
Now, Brandon, obviously a lot of candidates are looking to get a running start in primary season tonight, whether that looks like a win or a strong delegate count. What are the polling numbers showing right now?
As of right now, Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont is in the lead in Iowa in most recent polling. He has a little bit of a cushion over former Vice President Joe Biden in second, and then most polls show former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg in third place. And that has been fluctuating throughout the race. It could very well be a Biden first place finish, but then for Mayor Buttigieg in particular, it's important to get in that top three, maybe even that top two, because if he doesn't get good momentum into New Hampshire and the rest of the pack, he might soon fall out of the race, and this may just become a Biden-Bernie show. Reporting from Lincoln High School in Des Moines, Iowa, Brandon Ross, Citrus TV. Today is Thursday, February 12th, and this is Citrus TV Now. It's currently 32 degrees outside, and snow's flurrying a little bit in Syracuse. I'm Brandon Ross, and here are today's top stories. Construction on the dome is continuing today. Students can now see the new roof start to take shape. Yesterday, crews added the final truss onto the north side of the dome. This truss is crucial to the structure, and it's what will hold the pieces together. Other minor changes to the dome include installing air conditioning and renovating the bathrooms. The dome will close after basketball season and is expected to reopen in time for football in the fall. Syracuse officials have confirmed that police recovered the body of Alan Gonzalez. This marks the end to an extensive search of Onondaga Creek, which has been ongoing for over a week. He was last seen downtown on the 18th. Officials believe he accidentally fell in at Walton Street near the I-690 bridge. Gonzalez was a senior in the College of Engineering. Instead, students who attend tonight's women's basketball game will be placed on a list. The list indicates where students will camp out. The higher you are, the better camping spot you'll get. Tip-off for the game tonight is at 8. The Duke game is set for the same time on Saturday. And things are getting really nutty here on the Hill. The Planters Nutmobile has returned and is making its rounds through campus. While here, Planter ambassadors are trying to recruit students to become new peanutters. Tune in to Live at 6 to see Josh Myers get a look inside that nutty thing. And coming up on Live at 6, if you're still looking for gear to wear to Saturday night's game, you're in luck. Citrus TV reporter Tony Bianco has you covered. Tune in to see her go downtown to Scholars and Champs. The Vintage SU clothing store is doing a lot to prep up for that Duke game. And that's all the time we have for Citrus TV now. For more coverage on these stories, tune in to Live at 6. And make sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Citrus TV News. I'm Brandon Ross. Have a great night, Syracuse.